To Al Capone. The best whiskey he never got.
Yeah. Best whiskey he never got. That's a rich one.
It's the smoothest racket we ever had. Frankie Yale, you're a genius.
Yeah, Frankie, it's your wife.
Lucy? Okay. I'll be right home, sweetie. Okay. I gotta go.
Hey, Frankie, where you going?
Lucy's sick. I gotta run.
Oh, here, let me drive you.
Come on, my arms are broke, huh? Good night, Pop.
Just came in on the flyer. What we got?
Looks like Stafford's East Coast Task Force has been busy.
Hey, Frankie Yale finally got a dose of his own medicine.
Stafford's been predicting an untimely end for this mug for a while. Now, Frankie Yale outsmarted himself. Stealing his own delivery to Capone was a cute move, once.
Surprises me is that Yale thought Capone was so vulnerable.
Ness.
Elliot, it's Tim Stafford. Did you get my pouch?
Nice work, Tim. You got him to slant that headline just the way we wanted.
The public back here is outraged over the violence. As per your request, we've turned up the heat all over the East Coast. In the last couple of days, we've hit a dozen Luciano distilleries and breweries, and he's not a happy paisan.
That's great, Tim. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help.
You bet.
I'll see ya. Stafford's a good man to have on our side.
You know, Luciano and Lansky don't really approve of these Chicago-style executions. To them, it's an inefficient way of doing business.
Exactly. And with the Atlantic City Conference coming up in a week, mob leaders from across the East Coast will be there. On top of that, our sources tell us that Capone is trying to cement his control over Florida.
Ever since the peace conference in Chicago, he's been acting like Caesar.
Aye. And we all know what happened to Caesar, don't we?
We are making progress, gentlemen. And if we can keep the publicity focused, Lansky and Luciano might start blaming all their problems on Al Capone.
Mr. Scalise! Mr. Scalise, can you tell us who paid your bail? Any comment on the case after 9 months in this one?
Yeah, the only place I was on St. Valentine's Day was giving a chocolate heart to my mom.
This whole thing was cooked up to take the heat off the cops. You know they had to try and pin it on somebody.
Are you going to name Capone as the man who ordered the massacre?
I happen to know Al Capone. I know that he abhors violence and bloodshed. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Hey, here you go, fellas. Some souvenirs from the Sunshine State, huh? Here you go, Miss Green. You like them, I'll bring you over Bushing personally.
Paul, I want a 24-hour tail on those two. After 9 months in the slammer, maybe they'll go and do something really stupid.
I think that shows a certain overconfidence on Snorky's part, eh? Greeting the prime suspect of the St. Valentine's Day massacre on the steps of the county courthouse as if he was taking him to high holy mass.
I'm open.
Hey, listen, Al, thanks for bailing us out, huh?
Hey, what can you say to two guys who know how to keep their mouths shut?
Well, I was gonna rat him out, but I couldn't face his mother.
I'll tell you what. Boys make me feel like a proud papa, you know that?
Yeah, this little boy Sammy from Alabama.
What you did, you showed a lot of courage and loyalty. And I don't forget that. You show my appreciation. Got a little surprise for you boys. This ought to take a little edge off the jail time, huh? Go on, you bums, enjoy yourselves. I'm just glad I'm not those girls.
Got a meeting out of the palm of my hand. The Capone trusts me completely. That's absolutely right. No, I talked to him. Mr. Luciano, you have my word for it. He'll never know what hit him.
All right, John. Keep us informed. He knows what he's doing, Maya. He's a good kid. The biggest problem is about to disappear.
You're gonna love this, fellas. Good Cuban rum. Distilled in one of the most beautiful plantations you ever saw. You're here for history, boys. Here, taste this. Come on, taste it.
It's sweet.
It's sweet. Of course it's sweet. It's sugar cane. It's a big part of our future.
Control the sugar, you control the rum.
This guy's like a tagger. See, I'm making moves for after Prohibition's over. You ever been to Florida, John?
No.
It's like a paradise down there. They got gambling. It's 90 miles from the biggest source of sugar cane in the world. And while I'm down there making what could potentially be the biggest deal that we ever made, one of my loyal adjutants was up here screwing the whole thing up. Didn't I tell you to make the Frankie yell hit quietly? I mean, here's all of Florida waiting to be peeled like an orange. And the yell hit makes the front page.
But Al, we had to get him.
Don't butt me, Frankie. Don't butt me, all right? We got the Atlantic City Conference next week, and I don't need this kind of publicity. All right, I give you a simple thing to do when you go and screw it up. You listening to me? I said, are you listening to me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You hear me? Do me a favor, get out of here. You make me sick. You got insurance, John? See, Al Capone, he's a big believer in insurance. With all the heat this Frankie Yale thing is bringing down, the East Coast boys are threatening to cut off my deliveries. And I'm not gonna let Lansky and Luciano dictate to me what to do.
Well, what you need is to be more self-sufficient.
I told you, sure.
You're familiar with the Jenna operation?
You want to make a move on the Jenna suppliers?
Hey, the Jenners are finished. We make them an offer, they're gonna have to take the deal.
I'm with you all the way out.
Good. Salud.
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 As you know, the Jennas have a network of medium-sized alcohol stills scattered throughout the ethnic neighborhood. We're not sure what Scalise is up to. Word on the street is he's working for Capone, but he's spending most of his time with the Jennas. Old man Jenna himself took him on a tour of the newest distillery, and yet Capone seems to be relying on Scalise more and more.
Well, good work, Paul. So what are we looking at?
There's got to be more to this than a turf war with the Jennas. What's Capone's angle?
It's a bargaining chip. The more he can take of the general operation, the less dependent he is on New York.
Snarky's one hell of a businessman. This Florida deal is his magnum opus. He's positioning himself to make Lansky and Luciano a non-negotiable offer.
Hey, Al don't like people touching his things.
Frankie, settle down. I just want to see how the big fella lives.
You don't listen so good, do you?
That's that one lady's the most beautiful animal I ever saw.
Yeah, what the hell? She won you 100 grand.
Take a look at this, boys. I feel like I'm on a roll. Next stop, Miami Beach.
Ain't no doubt about it. Listen, the Jenners want to make a deal.
What'd you tell them?
I didn't tell them nothing. Well, I told them that there was some things to the win. Hey, Al, come on. The Jenners don't want to take you on. They want to be on the winning side, huh?
Look at this guy. A couple of days out of jail, he's already got to deal with the Jenners. I'll tell you what, Frankie. We throw a huge banquet for these guys, you know? Sort of like a welcome to the organization kind of a party, huh? You know what you just did? You just took away Luciano's trump card. Now we don't have to worry about his friggin' deliveries. That makes me feel good.
Excuse me. Al, I never trusted the Jenners, and I never will. I mean, we gotta be careful here. I think you're moving way too fast because of this Atlantic City thing.
Did I ask you your opinion, Frankie? Did I ask you anything?
Did you hear what I said?
Don't you ever touch me!
I will bust down! Come on, calm down. Calm down. Lasciami stare!
This guy's turning into a real bum, Frank.
Give me one. Some days it just don't pay to get out of bed, huh?
Knock myself out for this guy. And then he turns around and treats me like a dog. Like some mud on the street.
Yeah, well, we all know you've been with him a long time, Frankie.
Ever since he came to Chicago. I sit there and listen to all his guff about loyalty. How come I never get rewarded?
You got every right to be sore. Just between me and you, I think Snorky's going off the deep end. He's making a big mistake taking on Luciano and Lansky. It's a sucker play.
Have you been in touch with him?
Me and Luciano go back a long way. Frankie, I'm telling you this because I respect you. Capone's day is over. It's going down. Hitch your wagon to a rising star.
Are you the star?
I'll tell you what. Why don't you think about it? Lansky and Luciano are gonna make their move here real soon. I could always use a guy who knows his way around.
All right, boys. A little quiet down. Here we go. Your attention. Now it's time for a couple of words from our host.
Gentlemen, take a good look around. What do you see? I'll tell you what I see. I see good friends sitting together, eating together, drinking together, laughing together. And I tell you right now, we are the lucky ones. Think about it. I mean, one of you out there, you might say to me, "Hey, Al, why are we so lucky, huh?" I mean, is it because we wined and dined and we feel so refined? Right down to our pocketbooks. Is it because we brandied like dandies, huh? Or even had our share of candies, huh? I know two mugs here who've had their share of candies in the past couple of days. Ain't that right, fellas? What's the matter? You didn't have enough? Now you want me to make a few phone calls? But seriously, is that why we're the lucky ones? Because of all these material things? I say no. I say that we are the lucky ones because we're together. We are the lucky ones because we have loyalty. And with loyalty comes friendship and strength.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Gentlemen, we're here tonight to honor two men whose courage and abilities have serviced us well. Two men whose loyalty and trust is beyond question. Two men that I would give the shirt off my back for. Men that I would die for. Just the same as I would die for any one of you if the occasion arose. So I want to thank these boys tonight from the bottom of my heart. Our good friends, my good friends, Mr. John Scalise and Mr. Alberto Anselmi. And now to show our gratitude, a little token of our esteem. Hey, man! La bambino! Oh, you bambino! Oh, hey, it's a bad, I don't get it. What do you mean you don't get it, huh? What are you talking about you don't get it? I mean, a smart guy like you, what a better way to welcome you to the big leagues. Nice bet. Garbage.
Bitte, Giulio, konzentrieren Sie sich. Ich habe doch schon gesagt, ich habe keine Ahnung, wovon Sie sprechen.
Von den schäbigen Übungen of two of your fellow countrymen who were found in a garbage can by Indiana state troopers in the early hours of this morning.
I have never been to Indiana.
We know you were at the banquet for Scalise last night.
Scalise? The name just doesn't ring a bell. Hey, maybe Houdini came back to life.
We're not going to get anything out of this mug.
According to the autopsy report, Scalise was killed within minutes of finishing a meal of ossobuco and chicken cacciatore. That's what they had at the banquet, Mike. The lab even ID'd some of the spices. Now, it won't hold up in court, but it's good enough for me. It ties Capone directly to the murder.
Elliot.
It's all right, Paul. I asked her to stop by. Horror story. I'll delay the press conference until the Daily News hits the streets.
You're offering me an exclusive.
It's a big story.
What have I got to do to get it?
Who writes the editorials for your paper?
Depends. The publisher sometimes. There's a board of editors.
The story's yours, if you can promise me a front page editorial.
Elliot, you know I don't have any control over editorial.
Look, what I've pulled together there is a list of 14 cold-blooded murders that Al Capone either ordered or committed since December of last year. The man is a psychopath, Dory. The press has an obligation to make that clear.
He's never been convicted of any of these.
Yeah, he hasn't even been charged. We both know why. Every criminal court judge in Chicago is on the take.
I still can't guarantee you an editorial.
Okay. Promise me that you'll get a copy of that to your publisher and to every member of the editorial board.
Done. But it'll never make the deadline for tomorrow's paper.
Here. I took a journalism course in college.
Not bad for a first draft. Now, what's this big exclusive? Hello? Yes, he's right here. Dory Green?
Dory, you are wonderful. Yeah? Of course, I am available to the press. Just have them call me at home, right? So this editorial I wrote is on the front page of 23 papers around the country, including the World Telegram in New York. Alphonse Capone, mass murderer.
I'm gonna write this stuff. All this over is 2 pieces of garbage. I'm gonna give our lawyers a call in the morning.
Yeah, forget about it. Take my advice, turn the other cheek on this one. Just let it dry up and blow away.
I know I'd like to blow away.
Okay. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, he's right here. It's Mr. Torrio. He's calling from Brooklyn.
Johnny, how you doing?
How's everything out there?
Could be better.
There's a few things we need to talk about.
Well, why don't we talk when I come out to Atlantic City next week?
Actually, we moved the conference up a couple of days.
What are you talking about? Who's we?
Lansky, Luciano, me. That's for everyone's good, Public is getting sick and tired of all the bloodshed.
Johnny, I'm telling you right now, I'm a victim of some bad press. You're not joining this witch hunt, are you?
I don't rattle, Adam. You know that. Monday, you'll be in Atlantic City. I reserved an entire floor for you in the President Hotel. I'll be there Monday,
All right, Johnny. I'll be there. Johnny wants us to come to Atlantic City a few days earlier. Lansky and Luciano putting the screws on him.
They're on their way, Tim. The entire high command is shipping out.
Well, it sounds like you got Capone squirming pretty good. Get on the next train to Philadelphia.
You got it. So Stafford says his task force has got Luciano and Lansky bottled up tight.
And they'll be the boys to put the pressure on Capone. And I'll run the good guys.
Let's go, Mike. I'm not interested in just winning a round or two. I want a knockout.
Reservation for Brown. Aldo? Yeah. We have you on the 6th floor. Look, Mr. Brown and I, we like our peace and quiet. So we don't want to see anybody we don't recognize on the floor, huh?
I'm gonna get some taffy. You want some?
Yeah, give me some peppermint. Of course. Any of the other delegates arrive?
Mr. Thomas is here from Brooklyn with his party.
We're gonna get in our rooms as soon as possible.
Hey, Johnny! You crazy bum.
That's me. Give me a hug. I missed you. How you been?
I've been good. How you been?
You look good.
Yeah?
Can I buy you drinks?
You buy me 2 drinks. You can afford it.
I met Tim Stafford in federal school. He's a lot like you, Michael.
Oh? Astonishingly good looking?
Relentless. He's got a case in federal court right now against the police commissioner alleging payoffs. From what I hear, he's gonna win it. Timothy.
Elliot. How's that beautiful wife of yours?
Safe at home where you can't touch it. Tim Stafford, Mike Malone.
It's a pleasure.
Good to meet you.
Have a seat. Well, you fellas ought to be feeling rather pleased with yourselves, huh?
The time we will feel pleased with ourselves is when Mr. Capone sits in the electric chair.
I might be able to help you there.
What's up?
Well, we traced the gun in the Frankie Yale hit to a sporting goods store in Chicago.
Owned by a guy named Peter Von Francius?
Yeah.
Capone's armorer. Von Francius runs an old line, respectable store, but he'll sell to anybody. Yeah, operator in Chicago. Edgewater.
Where's the gun now?
Still at the police crime lab in New York.
We can tie the ballistics to Capone.
We could put him in a wooden box.
Tony, now.
Here, have a look at the rogues gallery.
Yeah, put Robbins on.
Ah, these are the distinguished delegates to the peace conference, eh? You know, I never knew how Meyer Lansky fitted in exactly.
Meyer Lansky is one of the smartest racketeers I've ever encountered. He grew up on Hester Street, New York's Lower East Side. He was a brilliant student in Hebrew school. His life changed forever the day he had a run-in with a tough Sicilian kid named Charlie Luciano. Luciano used to strong-arm the Jewish boys on their way home from school and separate them from their money. He discovered that they usually didn't fight back. But Meyer Lansky was different. He stood up to the bully. Luciano was so impressed with young Meyer's courage that he offered him a job running a sidewalk craps game in Little Italy, and they've been crime partners ever since. Lansky runs casinos in Saratoga and a string of gambling clubs all over Manhattan. His clientele is respectable, socially prominent.
Another reason why Capone's bloody headlines must be driving Lansky mad.
Yeah, oh, great. Yeah. Robbins is going to meet us in New York tomorrow. He's bringing everything we've got in the Capone ballistics file.
Big day tomorrow.
Yeah. Everything we've accomplished up to now, Frank, is nothing compared to this. And the best part is it's almost 100% legit.
Saw Lansky on the way down. Son of a bitch acted cordial.
Yeah, what else is new? Those guys want me dead, Frank. Which is too bad, because I'd really like them on board with us.
Businessman. You'll see the wisdom of joining forces.
It's just that I see this thing so clearly, Frank.
Now, it's like the big peace conference when we carved up Chicago. It's the same kind of situation. It's when you're at your best.
Meyer and Charlie are outside. What do you say, Al?
What do you say, Johnny? Hey, long time no see, fellas.
Meyer, Carlo.
It's a beautiful spot, isn't it, Al?
Yeah, I love Atlantic City. It's full of the beautiful people, you know.
How you been, Al?
Me? Fine now. I had a little health problem last week, but I beat it, if you know what I mean.
You mind if we sit down?
I'll tell you the truth, John. Sean and I were just about to get up.
Yeah, so much to do in so little time, huh, fellas? Excuse me.
Pace, God. Good time, Meyer. Good time.
You gotta stay calm, Charlie.
I'll stay calm. We didn't sell a drop last week because that son of a bitch has been leaving bodies in the street. The man's a lunatic, Meyer.
Gentlemen, I think we first learned the importance of systemation from my beloved mentor and friend, Mr. Johnny Torrio. As you all know, this means integrating our business from top to bottom. Now, in the past couple of years, we've all done very well for ourselves, working independently. But now in Florida and Cuba, we have an even greater opportunity. Of course, we still got a few problems, namely the management of the casinos in Miami and Cuba, and of course the perennial problem, finances. But I think the biggest problem that we face is the export of the sugar cane from Cuba to our new distillery in Orlando in big quantities so that we can be competitive. Now, what I suggest we do...
I got much bigger problems than getting sugar off the island. I got blood relatives sitting in jail in New York for one reason. I got businesses closed up because the cops are turning up the heat for the same reason. Because one of our members has gotten out of line. Now, before this same individual starts scattering dead bodies all over the state of Florida.
You got a big mouth, you know that, Chuck?
Bisogna avere pazienza, Carlo.
Fine. You want out, Charlie? You're out. We'll do better in Florida without you anyway.
I want more than out, Al. I want somebody else taking over in Chicago.
And who might that be? You?
Vai piano, Alpha.
Nobody tells me how to run my business, Johnny. Especially you, Charlie.
You're losing your grip, Capone. You become a big problem for everyone in this room.
You mean a problem for you?
Gentlemen, if I may, we are all entrepreneurs here. We provide many services that so-called respectable members of society require. Our businesses are very profitable. But if we repeatedly offend our customers with violence and negative publicity, then these same businesses soon become non-performing assets.
I don't disagree, Maya. But I can't believe the hypocrisy that I'm hearing here. I mean, what? All of a sudden, you two guys are squeaky clean? Why don't we stop acting like a couple of old ladies pointing fingers and get down to the business at hand here?
We've heard enough from you, Capone.
Hey, Charlie, you don't like what you hear, you can go take a walk on the beach, you know?
We will no longer be put at risk by the vicious, irresponsible behavior of one individual.
I'll tell you what. Maybe I'll take the walk, huh? You know, I'm kind of getting a little sick and tired anyway of hearing you two whine like a couple old ladies. You guys want to do business? I'll be around for a couple of days.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Mr. Ness. It's one of the murder weapons used in the St. Valentine's Day massacre. The ejector marks are identical, and so are the riflings on the slugs.
So in other words, the gun that killed Frankie Yale belonged to one of Capone's torpedoes.
That would be my professional opinion.
Capone belongs on death row, not in a resort hotel in Atlantic City.
What about fingerprints?
Well, there were multiple prints all over the weapon. Obviously, it's been used a great many times in the past 9 months.
Doesn't matter, Mike. When Lansky and Luciano and the rest of the delegates at the Atlantic City Conference get a look at these photos, that'll be all the evidence they need.
You deserve what you got, Johnny.
Makes your position here more difficult.
What else can I do? As a friend of mine, he was stealing from me. I had no choice.
Save it, Al. They're not gonna listen. For your own sake, before you leave here, you gotta make some kind of gesture.
I can't back down, Johnny. Especially not to these guys.
We need your help. Now, it's very precious what we built up here. Very fragile. You set the example before. Now we're in crisis. You gotta help us again. The system doesn't work. When the heat's on, it's that simple.
What are you asking me to do, Johnny?
We got a direct line to the police department in Philadelphia. To Boubouf, our friend. He's got the commissioner in the bag. You gotta take a pinch until all this blows over.
You're asking me to go to jail. You're asking me a lot.
I know that, but it's the only way to appease Chicago, the East Coast gang, the public, the press. Won't have to be long, 3 months or so. Could be less.
All right, Johnny. I'll do it. You told those bums in Philadelphia I don't want any surprises.
You're a good man, my son. You know something? You spread some money around. Jail can be pretty comfortable. You'll be surprised.
You want to know a jailbird,
I had a good time. I loved it in jail. A wonderful place.
Why is Al going to jail, Frank?
Well, it's got 2 big advantages for us. It appeases public opinion and keeps Al in one piece.
all this stuff blows over in Chicago. I still don't get it. Lansky and all those guys, they want some sort of show of remorse for the bloodshed. So Al takes his pinch. Public's gonna say justice was served. And the politicians will be happy. Cops on the East Coast, they can go back to sleep, heat's off. I'll tell you something, Frank. If he goes to jail, I'm going with him. You're a good man, Frankie.
Don't worry, hon. I'll explain it to you later. Yeah. I love you too. Bye.
Proud of you. Doing the right thing. This is a true sign of your leadership.
Easy for you to say. I'll keep that in mind while I'm busting rocks.
You'll be out in a month. It'll be racing season. Just come up and see me in Saratoga.
Yeah, sure. I love the races.
Prohibition's almost over, Al. But I got a feeling there's still gonna be a huge market for untaxed liquor.
I got news for you. After Prohibition's over, I'm going totally legit.
Sure you are, Al. Sure.
I'll see you around. You take care of yourself, huh?
Just wait right here and let the phone come to us. Be a cinch. You got the warrant?
Yeah.
These must be them. One beater, fellas. See you around, all right?
Mr. Capone?
Name's Al Brown. You can call me Capone if you want.
Are you ready to go now? Get the bags, boys.
Hurry up. I almost forgot. Taking us in on a weapons charge. Here you go, fellas. Help yourself to some taffy. I'm straight from Atlantic City.
Hello?
Elliot, you ready for this? Capone just took a pinch.
What? Are you sure? What the hell's going on?
Capone and Frankie Rio were just booked downtown on weapons charges.
There's got to be a setup. There's no way Capone's going to just walk around a strange city packing heat.
The police commissioner just put out a press release. Get this. He says Capone is a, quote, serious man who's tired of gang murders and wants to live up to his responsibilities under the law.
I'm coming right down.
Night Court is notoriously corrupt. They're rushing the case through.
30 days, suspended sentence. But don't do it again, Mr. Canetti. Thank you. Next case.
Case number 3736, People versus Judge.
This guy.
Yeah, you'll get 30 days for that.
Relax, Frankie. Everything will be all right. I want you to know something. I really appreciate what you've done for me. Do me a favor. Cheer up. We'll be out of here in no time.
There's only one honest judge in the whole building, and he's 83 years old.
5 days too long, 3 days makes a business.
What's the matter, Al?
Get it?
do I find this honest judge? I'm sorry to spring this on you, Judge, but it is an emergency.
That's all right, Mr. Ness. I've been reading about your accomplishments. I'm not sure how I can help you.
There has to be some way to get Capone's case transferred to your court.
He's a first-time felony offender, isn't he?
He is. His only prior arrests were for illegal assembly and disorderly conduct.
Good. That makes it easy.
Case adjourned in contemplation of dismissal. Next case. Will the attorneys in People versus Capone and Rio approach the bench? Excuse me, fellas. I'll be with you in a minute. We've got a problem. Judge Rostow is claiming jurisdiction in this case contending your client, Mr. Capone, is a first-time felony offender. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, but...
Well, then I have no recourse but to turn him over to Judge Rostow. Bailiff?
What the hell's going on, Benny?
I'll find out. Some other judge claimed jurisdiction.
Unfortunately for you, Mr. Capone, my seniority gives me jurisdiction in this case because of your first offender status. The statute allows me wide discretion in determining your sentence.
Your Honor.
It also instructs me to use my judgment and experience in determining whether or not you have learned your lesson and can now be returned to society as a productive citizen. I have made that decision, and I am imposing the maximum sentence allowed under the law. I hereby sentence you both to a year's hard labor in the maximum security wing of Eastern State Penitentiary. The sentence is to begin at once.
Try buying your way out of this one.
Order in the court.
What's the matter? You must be bonehead.
Remember the last time you called me that, Capone? Union Station, about a year ago. You just got back from Florida. You saw me on the steps, said, "You staring at me?" You remember, huh?
Yeah, I remember. You were pansy then, you're pansy now.
Looked me straight in the eye, said, "Who are you?" I told you, I'm nobody, Capone. The biggest mistake of your life is that you believe me.
I'll be back, Ness. Sooner than you think.
Come on, let's go.